ಏನು ತಲೆ ಬರಬಾರ್ದು ಲಾಕ್ ಮಾಡಲಾ.
Good morning, everyone. On behalf of the Department of Commerce and the Accounting and Taxation Club of SSMRV College, I welcome you all to today's panel discussion on Decoding Budget 2026. The Union Budget is an important policy document that outlines the government's economic direction for the year ahead. And today's discussion aims to help us better understand its implications through expert perspectives. We are glad to have with us a distinguished panel of professionals from diverse fields who will be sharing their insights during this session. Before we proceed, I kindly request everyone to switch their mobile phones to silent mode for the smooth conduct of the program. I request all the panelists, moderator and HOD ma'am to come to the dais.
ಇನ್ನ zoom ಆಗ್ಬೇಡ.
ಫೋಕಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀನಿ ಫೋಕಸ್ ಮಾತಾಡ.
I now invite Dr. Malini N, Head of the Department of Commerce, to deliver the welcome address. Thank you.
Well, students, I guess for our BCom students, it is the very first program that we have been having it here in our new auditorium. And it is all to do with our panel discussion, and the topic is on union budget. So when it comes to budget, I'm sure every day on a day-to-day basis, there is some or the other budgeting aspect that would be happening in your lives. So either it is your parents, or whether it is you, or whether it is your organizations where we are working at, or it can be the country for that matter, everywhere budget is being taken into consideration. So when we speak about budget, in normal terms, if I have to just mention, it is an allocation of income and expenses is what we try to understand. So as a student, and even when I was a child, I was able to observe what my parents would be doing and how they would do this budgeting part of it. Maybe we were not using this term of budget or so forth, but then whenever we used to have this union budget, my father and mother, they used to sit in front of television, and they were so eagerly watching what would be happening and how the prices are increasing and things as such. But then it used to be very, very boring for us, and we would never understand also what was that they were trying to watch. But later, as we tried understanding the economics part of it, and when some money is given to us, pocket money, say 500 or 1000 rupees, how is that I'm going to allocate for the various expenses, and what is the kind of savings that I try to do, is what was the meaning of budget for me. And I'm sure even you people agree with that. So here, in case whether you have been updated on any of the social media channels about the budget or no, I'm not aware of it. So we have brought in the various resource persons over here so that we can get the kind of flavors, whatever that has happened with our union budget, which was recently announced on February 1st for our next year, that is for 26 and 27. So, keeping all this in mind, we have gathered today for this particular panel discussion. And myself, Dr. Malini, BCom HOD, would take this opportunity to invite all the guests for this particular gathering. So, first of all, we have Mr. Aryan, the advocate, High Court. A very warm welcome, Mr. Aryan. He works with the police department in the various areas of Bengaluru, as well as he is associated with the CBI department. And a most notorious student, I could call it as, and anything, anywhere, I think he would be the first person to raise his voice as well. And I think maybe with the personality and with the blood and with the profession, these are things that have come up through and with him. Being an advocate, I think they are being paid to fight and he fights for the right causes, and I'm sure you people will enjoy, and he is a student favorite. That is what I have understood over the years. We have Mr. Ajay Kumar, the entrepreneur, the advocate. And I feel very proud to speak about Mr. Ajay. It is just because he's been a student like you people from SSMRV. So he's an alumni of SSMRV. And he's been our ex-colleague as well. He has served this institution for as many years, and later he felt that he needs to be, his lifestyle is more dynamic, and that is how he became an advocate, and he's also running his own business. He's an entrepreneur as well. So welcome to you, Mr. Ajay. Next we have Mr. Anil Bharadwaj, the chartered accountant. Welcome, sir. So I think most of our common students, they deal only with accounting, taxation and so forth, and all our final year students are going for an internship program as of now, and all that is to do with your taxation part of it. So any kind of queries, doubts, and any allocations that have happened on the budget from Srimati Nirmala Sitharaman, I think you can get the glimpse of it from Mr. Anil sir. Next, we have Mr. Pradeep Sheshatri, Director of Solutions Consulting. Welcome, sir. So I think he is a tech, and he is almost with the tech kind of people, but then we have tried getting him here to be amongst all our students and in a different platform altogether. So we have different people from the different sectors who have been here, and we have our moderator, Dr. Vinaya T. Assistant Professor, Department of Commerce. Welcome to you, sir. And I would like to welcome all our faculty colleagues, and special welcome to our Accounting and Taxation Club members, Ms. Vidya Jambagi, then Ms. Nandini, then Mr. Sharavana. And I would like to welcome all you students to this particular event. And any kind of queries, doubts, or any points, you are quite free enough to ask any of the jury members out here, the panel members, maybe after their, once when their discussion starts and when they come to one particular conclusion. Well, thank you all, and over to Shri Harsha.
Thank you, ma'am, for the insightful welcome address. I now invite the panelists and the moderator to take over for the panel discussion. Thank you. In the meantime, I invite my friends Sridatri and Ramya to introduce our esteemed panelists.
morning, everyone. It is my privilege to introduce Advocate Aryan DJ Sir, a remarkable individual known for his dedication, intellect, and leadership. Raised in Bengaluru and educated at Carmel Institutions and BMS College of Law, Sir has always been deeply passionate about oratory, debate, and social justice. He completed his BA LLB from BMS College of Law and was enrolled as an advocate in February 2023. With participation in over 200 debates and more than 85 victories at city, state, and national levels, he established himself as a powerful and impactful speaker, earning recognition as one of the finest orators across institutions. Beyond academics, Sir has contributed through published research papers, legal advisory roles with Karnataka State Police, and his current administrative role in Economic Offence Wing of Central Bureau of Investigation. He has also served as the college president, Master of Ceremonies for Bangalore City Police, and as a guest speaker and panelist at several national and international forums with exceptional leadership, strong communication skills, and fluency in English, Kannada, and Hindi. He continues to inspire young professionals. His vision of building a legally aware and self-sufficient society truly sets him apart. Please join me in welcoming Advocate Aryan DJ Sir. It is my privilege to introduce Mr. Anil Bharadwaj Sir, a distinguished professional known for his excellence in academics, finance, and public engagement. Born and raised in Bengaluru, Sir completed his education at Vidyavartaka Sangha High School, MES Main College, and ASC Degree College, and went on to pursue his masters in business law from the prestigious National Law School of India University. A fellow chartered accountant and a senior partner at Bharadwaj and Husmat, he has built a strong reputation as a trusted financial and legal expert. Sir is also a respected academician, serving as a visiting professor at several leading institutions and contributing as a major member of IQAC and Board of Studies. He has delivered over 100 seminars on GST, addressed more than 35 national conferences, and is widely recognized for explaining complex tax laws in Kannada, helping spread financial awareness in rural communities. Along with guiding thousands of students, he is also a talented stage and gamaka artist with numerous awards in drama, comedy, and mimicry. With his unique blend of professional excellence and cultural talent, Mr. Anil Bharadwaj continues to inspire learners and professionals alike. Please join me in welcoming him. I would now like to call Ramya to introduce our other panelists for the day.
Thank you, Gatri. I'm happy to welcome Ajay Kumar Sir, who is an entrepreneur, consultant, author, and academician with diverse experience across business consulting, legal practice, and education. He is the founder consultant of Ajay Business Consulting and managing partner at Ajay Shankar and Associates. He also serves as a member of Board of Studies at Maharani Lakshmi Ammani College for Women. An author of the management reference book Entrepreneurial Excellence, The Competitive Edge, Ajay has consulted for 20 plus clients across major Indian clients and worked as an international academic advisor for SARC Education Foundation Nepal. He has significant teaching experience as an assistant professor at SSMRV College and prior corporate experience with Tesco, HSC, and IDFC First Bank. Certified as a CRI SIL and Dale Carnegie trainer and Six Sigma professional, he has won 80 plus quizzes and management competitions and has hosted 100 plus quizzes for leading universities and institutions. He has also participated in 15 Model United Nations, earning 4 Best Delegate Awards. I welcome you, sir. It's my privilege to welcome Pradeep Sheshadri, sir, who is a strategic sales engineering and solutions architecture leader with over 25 years of experience advising enterprises across India and APAC on building resilient, future-ready digital architectures. He has shaped multi-million-dollar SAS consumption ecosystems and guided C-suite leaders through cloud modernization, adoption, acceleration, and value realization. He currently leads New Relic Solutions Consulting and Customer Adoption Chartered, driving consumption-led growth, strengthening renewal health, and advancing enterprise-scale observability modernization. Prior to New Relic, he held senior technologist and leadership roles at Dell EMC, NetApp, and Commvault, working closely with large enterprises on infrastructure, data, and platform modernization initiatives. A trusted CXO advisor to over 75 enterprise and digital native organizations, including Swiggy, Flipkart, Myntra, Tata Communications, Apollo Tyres, and Mediaset. He has built and scaled high-performing go-to-market, pre-sales, and adoption teams across India, ACEAN and ANZ, enabling multi-year strategic wins exceeding $75 million. I welcome you, sir. I would also like to welcome our moderator for the event, Dr. Vinaya sir, who brings over 18 years of combined experience in corporate and academic domains with commerce and management, making significant contributions as a teacher, researcher, and institution builder. He holds a PhD from the Department of Studies in Commerce, Manasa Gangotri University of Mysore, and is recognized research guide at Bengaluru City University. He has made substantial contributions to research in higher education, producing impactful and insightful work. His primary areas of research interests include cryptocurrency, foreign direct investment, equity market, psychology, bond market performance and analysis, IPOs and derivatives markets, carbon credits, capital markets, and digital marketing. He has served as a resource person in faculty development programs and academic events across various universities. Dr. Vinaya is actively involved in academic governance as an external examiner and board of studies member across multiple universities and reputed institutions. He is the author of the book Trading Strategies Used in Derivative Markets, available on Amazon and other leading e-commerce platforms. Additionally, he holds patents in behavioral finance and mobile user authentication, highlighting his interdisciplinary research approach. Beyond academics, Dr. Vinaya has a keen interest in sports, particularly cricket, chess, table tennis, and athletics, reflecting a well-rounded personality and commitment to holistic development. I welcome you, sir.
Thank you, Sridatri and Ramya, for the introduction. I now invite the panelists and the moderator to take over for the panel discussion. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. So today is a very special day since we are going to evaluate the Union Budget 26-27, and this is the first time basically where budget was announced on the first Sunday of this month. So this again, and also it is our Finance Minister's ninth budget, and the overall allocation is around 53 lakh 40,000 change for 40,000 lakh crore budget. So out of which we are going to basically touch upon as many sectors as possible. So basically it is not possible to cover the entire sector, all the sectors. So wherever possible we are going to touch base upon that, and we have our esteemed panel members who have their expertise in their particular domain. So we'll be trying to cover as much as possible within the allotted timings, and as you can see, we have experts from various domains. You can see from chartered accountant Anil sir, we have advocate, we have tech expert, and Ajay sir also an advocate as well as an entrepreneur, a very successful entrepreneur and educator as well. So we have such a diverse panel, and I assume that it will be very useful for you all. And towards the end of that, if we have time, you can also raise your queries accordingly. So to begin with, we'll start with Pradeep Shesari sir. He's going to he has developed a PPT and he's going to make a brief presentation on that. Thank you.
Very good morning to all of you. How's the Josh? How's the Josh? Perfect, thank you. That's exactly what we want to do. Thank you. How's the mic? That's also. So, first of all, thank you very much for this opportunity. It's my pleasure and privilege to be here. And I would like to start thanking the institution, RV Institute of Management, SSMRV, and the teachers in the room, the organizing committee. It's a very different kind of an experience for me. I'm very much looking forward to this one. So thank you so much for getting me here today and letting me participate. And thank you all for the time. I know you have a busy schedule and you've given us your time today, and we hope to make it worthwhile for you. So yeah, thank you so much. Who am I? Know your KYC, know your presenter. So I'm Pradeep Sheshadri, with about 26 years of experience in IT, about half of it in leadership and mostly into customer consulting. That's where I come from. I have had the opportunity of addressing various different audiences, but mostly within IT as part of my job that I've been doing. But I think today it's a very different experience. In fact, it's a refreshing experience for me to be addressing students. It puts me back in college, my college days. I was an alumni of Vijaya. So, and of course, SSMRV has been a name etched in our memory. People who have been in Bangalore know SSMRV so well that, it's good to be associated here. So, and what do I see in front of me? Within me, I see anxiety because I'm looking at a bunch of really smart students and smart teachers sitting here in the room. So I hope I make sense, right? And I also see Bhavishya Bharat or Brilliant Bharat in front of me. So this is exactly what we want India to be tomorrow. Right? With that, without further ado, I have a very small PPT, about 99 slides. We should get through in about 3 hours time. And as you realize by now, probably my CV is the shortest. I really have esteemed panelists sitting next to me. Really glad to be here. Thanks to the panelists. Really good to meet you all. And I don't want to keep anybody waiting. So what I'll do is I'll stick to the matter, get to the crux, and then probably get to the panel discussion, right? So, any idea who said this? It's one small step for man, but one giant leap for mankind. Anybody? Yes, louder. I heard that name somewhere. Neil Armstrong. Great. So Neil Armstrong said this when he landed on the moon. Typically, why did I put this here? Budgets, in a way, are that way, right? So call any budget. Budget are a series of a set of steps that are taken, but the effect it has is profound and very large. So that's why it has to be carefully taken care of, carefully done, so that because it impacts livelihood of people, the future of a country, and a lot of things to do with the economy and stuff. So I think that's where I found this very relevant. For me, if I look at today, it's all about decoding the budget 2026. So for me, budgets are not accounting documents, right? Per se. Of course, there are a lot of numbers in the budget, but it's not all about numbers. It's about laying a foundation, laying a strategy. I think the outcome, the thought behind the initiative is more important than as important as the numbers itself. So that's why it's important to have the right budgets. At least it at least touches a larger part of the society and make sure it's beneficial to everybody. So it's not merely numbers. It's about strategy is what I'm thinking. In a way, if I look at what a teacher does and what a budget does, I can draw a similarity because the teachers here in the room are building a better tomorrow, better India. So is the budget. It is trying to build a country. And that's the similarity I want to draw. Basically, a few years ago, if you asked me, not knowing too much about budget, not knowing about finance, for me it's like, am I going to pay more tax or can I get some savings as a salaried person? Typically, that's what comes into mind. Any show of hands, what do you think when you think of a budget? What's in it for me? Correct? What do I benefit from? Is my iPhone cheaper? Is my restaurant getting cheaper? Right? So this is what we think of. Yeah, but I think from a corporate perspective, a very corporate lens, basically what this amounts to is, if I'm a company, I'm thinking, where will the money be invested? Where can I invest money in this economy? Which are the sectors that will grow? Where is the government interested? What are the steps being taken for sectoral growth? Where will the capital flow? So this is what for a corporate looks at when they look at a budget. So these things define basically. Pardon me, this very basic level. It's not that you don't know, but I'm stating the obvious many times. But I think it's a good revision for all of us to just look at the obvious factors as well. Next thing is about budget is not about just impacting wallets. It shapes the future of a country, it shapes our journey as well. So that's where it becomes very important. Today, if I look at this particular budget, of course, it's just purely from my personal point of view. I don't represent any company or any enterprise here when I'm making these observations. It's purely my observation of a budget. I believe that it is probably headed towards Viksit Bharat. That's the mission our Honorable Prime Minister has. And the kind of announcements that have come, which I'm going to delve a bit deeper later, looks like it's in support of that more investment-led growth, more strategic growth versus short-term gains, is what I kind of think of it. If you look at about 12 lakh plus crore allocated in infrastructure, logistics, rail, and supply chain. If you look at these sectors, what does it convey to you? Logistics is so important because the faster you can move goods and services, the faster is the consumption. The faster the consumption, more the demand and more the growth. So that's why these things become very important. At the outset, we may feel that, okay, there's nothing much in it for us probably, as students, as professionals, but I think from a macro perspective, from a country perspective, these are factors that probably lead to growth. And I think these sectors have been touched upon in terms of improvement and getting to the next level of, next level. I think we are betting on infrastructure. I think the country itself is betting on infrastructure and development versus short-term gains or short-term SOPs, if I may say that. Yeah. So fiscal discipline, and you're all commerce and management students, so I don't have to tell you what fiscal deficit is. Fiscal deficit, is it needed at all? Yes, a bit of fiscal deficit is always good for a country, but it shouldn't be too much. So you don't want to have too much of borrowing, very uncontrolled borrowing. And as probably many countries do not, at least the developing countries do not know how to manage this, but I think we are at a point where we have been able to look at fiscal deficit control. Also, this has other effects, right? So when you look at fiscal deficit, borrowing being controlled, fiscal deficit under control, which I think we have a fairly good figure when the budget was announced this time. Global investors trust countries that control debt because they don't want them to risk their money on a country which is getting into too much of loans and unsecured loans, right? Loans that they cannot repay. That's number one. Basically, lower deficit is equal to stable currency plus an investment flow, whatever investment is coming in. So this is where it has to get to. And I think steps are being taken to make sure the deficit is well controlled within the country. What I see from a technologist's perspective is three major areas, right? One is semiconductor push. Any idea why there is a semiconductor push? Why do you think there is a semiconductor importance? Anybody? Any answer? Self-reliance. Today, the vehicles that you use, the phones that you use, everything comes out of a chip. In the digital economy, chip becomes very important, chip manufacturing. So far we've been reliant on exports. Or imports, my bad, it's imports. So now what I think we're headed towards is developing our own ecosystem of having that so that our self-reliance improves. We become dependent on ourselves versus someone else, some other country. And that's why semiconductor becomes very important. So if you see the recent announcement, there's a semiconductor mission 2, which has been launched, very recently announced by our IT minister. Similarly, IT minister also has mentioned the railway minister, who also talks about rare earth supply chain, which is how do you get minerals to manufacturing in a short amount of time, because that was what leads to production and probably semiconductor or whatever that could be. Some of the strategic industries that are getting attention is biopharma, subsidies in biosimilars, manufacturing in biosimilars, container and chemicals, container manufacturing in India, textile parks, aviation input materials, and nuclear energy, of course. So if you see all of these broader area, this points us towards the right areas of investment, which makes a country more self-reliant. In some cases also, they will be able to export some of these as well to other places. And why does this really matter? One thing is we are trying to move away from back office of the world to a technology leader, a technology innovation hub. Would you all agree that we are moving towards that? At least there is an intent of moving towards being a technology innovation hub versus being a back-end support system. That's number one. And basically, why does this matter? It creates jobs, a lot of jobs, more sectors, more jobs, enables strategic independence, like I said, and of course, boosting exports. We want to have an export surplus, import deficit at some point. If I look at, again, delving deeper into what tech platforms, where are we headed from this budget, if I just do a vanilla reading of this budget, we're looking at data center investments. Today, there are a lot of, India is a big market for a lot of just
Maybe we'll start off with the discussions from this part.
perfect. That sounds good as
I
well.
think, that we-
Sounds good.
Right,
Thank you.
Vinay, sir? Yeah. You can please,
Thank you so much. Yeah, we'll start.
because we are running short of time.
No problem.
Thank you, Pradeep sir, for the wonderful informative insight about the tech sector. Now we'll move on to the other panelists. So we'll start with Aryan sir with regard to his opinion about Union Budget 26.
Hello everyone. So if you expect me to speak like this is the budget, that's not how I speak, okay? And the last time I was here, us panelists became a team. I was telling you because I think they were the senior batch or something. They are very smart. We lie, will catch hold of us immediately, okay? So can we get some energy into the room? Yes. ನೀವು ಎನರ್ಜಿ ಕೊಡಲಿಲ್ಲ ನಮಗೆ ಮಾತಾಡೋಕ್ಕಲ್ಲಿ ಓ ಬೈ ದ ವೇ ಐ ಸ್ಪೀಕ್ ಅ ಲಿಟಲ್ ಕನ್ನಡ ಇದು ನನ್ನ ಮಾತೃಭಾಷೆ ಇಫ್ ದೇರ್ಸ್ ಎನಿ ಇಶ್ಯೂ if you don't understand somebody from a different geographical region, please raise your hand, I'll clarify it, okay? So with that being said, thank you for the opportunity for letting me speak and also welcoming me to this wonderful summit. At this point of time, talking about the budget, it feels like a cake without an icing. I am very critical about things in my life because I'm an advocate by profession. So we always search for the gray area, which I keep telling people. We don't search for black and white. ಏನಕ್ಕೆ ನಾವು ಬ್ಲ್ಯಾಕ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ವೈಟ್ ಆಗ್ತೀವಿ ಅಂತಂದರೆ ಎರಡು ಮಿಕ್ಸ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ಗ್ರೇ ಬರುತ್ತೆ ಅಲ್ಲೇನೆ ಕಾನೂನು ಇರೋದು ದಟ್ ಇಸ್ ವೇರ್ ದ ಆಕ್ಚುಲ್ ಟ್ರೂತ್ ಲೈಸ್ ರೈಟ್. With that being said, if you see the budget, it is just like a medium. It has become a medium between the next elections and the previous budget. In the previous budget, you could see a plethora of things change, right? Your income tax slabs, the sudden, push towards startups, Skill India, semiconductor. So I was telling that semiconductor importance is very much required in today's society. None of you answered why semiconductors are important. Have you been through pandemic or not? What was the biggest issue that this country faced? Semiconductor issue, right? Why? Because we were depending on Taiwan. Now what the country has done here, or the budgeting that has happened here, we say it has been allocated. That is the problem with this country. We say that everything has been allocated. Where is it allocated? I'll give you one fun example. For the first time in the arena of skills, right? In the arena of skills, the Honorable Finance Minister Irmala Tai, she told one thing. So basically this time we'll give something for AGVC. What is AGVC? Animation, graphic, comic creation and visual representation. Around 250 crores was allocated. Yes, 250 crores were allocated. But the real question is how fast that fund is being disbursed. From the previous budget itself, the Honorable Leader of Opposition doesn't raise this point, but you as students need to remember that when you make a promise, because you are the financial backbone of this country, everyone graduating out of this university, if you do not know what are the actual facts, tomorrow you might be sitting in that policy making positions. You might be sitting next to the Prime Minister. And that point of time, no IRS, no IAS, no IPS can run the brain as fast as you can. But for that, you need to know what the flaws are. There is a saying, very old saying, they say that people who refuse to see into the mirror can never wash the dirt off their face. The government has to acknowledge that we have flaws where in disbursement. Second, when they give these big terms, 250 crores, 500 crores, where is the transparency and accountability? And recently in this budget also, a wonderful statement was made that we will generate 1,500 content creation labs. Content creation labs. I have 1.5 lakh followers on Instagram. ಏನು ಉಪಯೋಗ ಅದರಿಂದ ಅಲ್ಲ ಅದು ಚಪ್ಪಾಳೆ ಹೊಡೆಯೋ ವಿಚಾರ. People like your content, they'll come and like your page. Thank you. But the thing is, the country should, the only difference between our neighbors, I don't want to take the names of the country because then I will be charged with sedition as such. But our neighbors are also doing content creation, right? The government itself is pushing. But the only difference I'll give you, this is a little off topic from the budget, but I'll give you a small example. There was a person in China. I told I'll not take the name of it. But anyways, let's go with it. Yes, actually pretty much. Madam, live stream andru. Adike ಒಂದು ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಹಿಡಿದು ಮಾತಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀನಿ. So in China, there's a man who goes around to various provinces of China. Here, how we have states, there they have provinces. You are aware, right? So he goes there and he makes a videography of, flaws and mistakes that the government has made. What does the Chinese government do? No, sir. Sorry, India, sir. No, basically what the Chinese government, or basically the Ministry of Information and Broadcasting, what they do is, so basically let me assume that I am the man. I go show road sari illa illaro gundiyal biddu hoda anta antivi. So next day they fix it within 12 hours and they challenge him again. Show us the next flaw. That is the kind of challenge that the government should put on people. Here a reporter speaks, a journalist speaks, next day will find his body somewhere, his head somewhere, his leg somewhere. That is the sad reality. Now I am radically neither against the left or the right or the center. I am with the law. I work with the law. But why I am giving a critical evaluation is, all these people who are gathered here are not the people who are your conventional speakers. What conventional speakers do? Shubhodaya, ellaru chennagidira. That's how they speak. They give you the facts that is on the board. Sir spoke about semiconductor chip. What is it? It's a problem. You need to address the problem. You need to have that critical thinking. If this country is saying that it is progressing, but it's not progressing, why? What is the handbrake that is not letting this wonderful G-Wagon move ahead? That you need to understand, okay? With that being said, of course, the budget has some wonderful things too. 12.2 lakh crore rupees has been allocated. Now, what does that generate? Employment opportunities. Long term, yes. But after that, freightway, corridor, roadway, railway, waterway, or whatever is built, what next? I think the next Mahatma Gandhi has to come for another Manrega to come into picture. Unfortunately, after Manrega, there is no sustainable and strong government policy that gives, guaranteed employment opportunity to our rural areas. This country is still agrarian-based society. We run on an agrarian-based economy. Yes, do you agree? No matter how well we, successfully come in the service industry, the IT industry, the skill industry, the manufacturing industry. Manufacturing will take another 10 years, is what I feel, to come up to the levels of, the competing factors. But this is an agrarian-based society. What is the biggest problem that this country faces? What is the biggest problem this country faces? Seasonal problems, right? So 6 months you have your crop. In our thing, they don't know. Which is not the problem of rural India. Use their potential, tap into that market. If you take up the small MSMEs and establish in the rural India and give them some job and employment, then they wouldn't be based only entirely on agrarian societies. Yes, the government and the budget this time has told that we will set up. We will set up, we have set up, we have done this, we will do this, there's a difference. So that's the critical evaluation. Don't think I'm a negative person, I'll tell something positive also. But then I need to let my fellow panelists also speak. So I'll be passing on the mic. Thank you.
A very fair evaluation by Aryan sir. Thank you so much, sir. So you are not taken any sides as such, and it was a fair evaluation. And at the same time, it has given our students insight about both the budget as well as the system part, how the system works and how exactly you have to do the budget. It is not just those big numbers, but how you are going to take it forward. Where is the accountability and transparency? Very good, sir. Okay. Next, over to Anil, sir.
ಸರ್ ಹೇಳಿದಂಗೆ ಫಾರ್ಮಲ್ ಆಗಿ ಎಲ್ರಿಗೂ ನಮಸ್ಕಾರ. ವಿತ್ತೇನ ಹೀನಂ ಪುರುಷಂ ತ್ಯಜಂತಿ ದಾರಾಶ್ಚ ಪುತ್ರಶ್ಚ ಸಹೋದರಾಶ್ಚ ತಂ ವಿತ್ತವಂತಂ ಪುನರೇವ ಯಾಂತಿ ವಿತ್ತಂ ಹಿ ಲೋಕೆ ಪುರುಷಸ್ಯ ಬಂಧುಃ is the famous subhashita. The meaning of this is vittam means what? Pittam alla. Vittam, finance, money. Vittena heenam purusham tyajanti. If the money is not there, the person is always neglected. Yes or no? Have you experienced that in your life? You will experience. Still you are student. You will experience that once you start earning. So you have to always earn better and increase the per capita income of our nation. Okay, only government alone cannot do anything. Yes or no? This is a democratic country. We, the people of India, have to work hard, have to see how we can ensure that development takes place, how these things from government, how these announcements from government don't stop at announcement but come into force, and never give up attitude we should have against the government. For government, against government means not work against the government. Never give up attitude against the government for doing the work. Understood? So if any pothole is there, you should recognize and tell them. If it is not fixed within 12 hours, 12 times you should go and do. Approach them. Only then something will happen. Otherwise something will not happen in our nation. What did not happen over 60, 65 years is happening in 10 years. Yes or no? Vande Bharat had to come after 65, 70 years to our nation. And we are speaking of expressways which may come in next 5 years time. The railways have significantly increased from past 10 years. Has it increased or it is not increased? Railway station 10 years before, railway station now. Bus stops 10 years before, bus stops now. Allocations were happened and it was spent or did not spend. Buses, how the buses used to be previously and how the buses are there. Of course some accidents are happening. Private buses. Okay. But my dear friends, for any nation to develop, 2-3 important things have to happen. One, the government has to be focused. That is very important. Unless the government is focused, government has a power, nothing can be done. Okay. It is not Narendra Modi who has done all these things. It is because we gave power to Narendra Modi unilaterally, without any coalition to have more power over him. Something can happen. ಮುಂಚೆ ಎಲ್ಲ ಬರ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಿದ್ದು ಯಾವುದು? ಸಮ್ಮಿಶ್ರ ಸರ್ಕಾರ. ಸರ್ಕಾರ ಏನಾದರೂ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು ಅಂತ ಹೋದ್ರುವೆ ಬೇರೆ ಬೇರೆ ಇದ್ದಂಥ ಅಲಯನ್ಸ್ಗಳು ಏನಿದ್ದು, ದೇ ಯೂಸ್ ಟು ಪುಲ್ ದೆಮ್ ಬ್ಯಾಕ್ ಅಂಡ್ ನೆವರ್ ಯೂಸ್ ಟು ಗೆಟ್ ದ ವರ್ಕ್ ಡನ್.
So maybe more into the budget part.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. So now when we are speaking on why I'm speaking all these things as an introduction is whether the budget makes sense or the budget does not make a sense. And nowadays, my dear friends, from past 3-4 years, budget is more towards the allocation of funds to various sectors than being more popularistic. Only last year's budget was more popularist compared to all previous budgets and this year budget, where from straight away 7 lakh rupees income, they brought it up to 12 lakhs. A person who earns about 12 lakhs plus 75,000, 12 lakhs 75,000 need not have to pay any tax. And this year nothing have been touched on individual taxation. The only variation that have been done in income tax, which for all of us it affects, is about TCS. What is TCS? Tax collected at source. When your parents are sending you out after your BCom or MCom outside the country for your further education, they had to pay anywhere from 5% to 20% TCS extra over and above. If your payment was about 1 lakh rupees, they had to spend 5% more as a TCS, which after filing the returns will get back. It is not the expenditure, but the upfront cash outflow used to happen, which is now reduced from 5% to 2% for a travel. For a travel which used to be, if you want to go for a European travel, you had to pay 20 rupees extra for every 100 rupees. 20 rupees. Why? As a TCS. Okay. Now that also have been reduced from 20 to 2. To what? To make the tourism more attractive. That is about the individual perspective. Secondly, STT. What is STT? Security Transaction Tax. What do we mean by Security Transaction Tax, my dear friends? Arise and awake. Stop not till the STT is answered. Huh?
So when
whenever we make a securities purchase in futures and options market, we have to pay certain percentage. Like previously it was 0.012%, now it is 0.05%.
Yes, very good. Give a big round of applause to me. What is your good name? Sri Harsha has answered it very well. STT is a tax paid on transaction done on securities market, on capital market, whatever transaction you do, there is a tax that goes to the government. Now for futures and options, FNO, we call it as FNO. For FNO, the tax have been increased for futures from 0.01 to 0.05 for futures and 0.10 and 0.125 to 0.15 straight away. 10 paisa, 12 ಪೈಸಾದಿಂದ straight away 15 ಪೈಸಕ್ಕೆ increase ಮಾಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ for option premium and option exercise. So this is the change. Unless we deal in F&O, we will not understand this.
Sir, is it a good move, sir?
It's a very, it's
Your
a
opinion on that?
good or bad is secondary. Why they have done is a very important question. Why they have done? They have not touched upon cash delivery market. Equity market they have not touched. They have touched only upon F&O. F&O is mainly for speculation. F&O happens mainly for speculation, and then in this volatile market, in this volatile era.
Just to inform you, many of our students are trading in F&O market.
How many of you are doing here?
Just raise your hand. Please.
Hey, Yatrappa. So some few students are doing. So F&O nalli STT ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಮಾಡಿರೋದ್ರಿಂದ the main idea behind increasing it is to give a disadvantage for the F&O transaction, to discourage people to do F&O transaction. Why they have to discourage F&O? Because out of 100 people who trade in F&O, 95 people of them will lose the money. Only 5 people will make the money out of it. So for the common people, now the retail investors are more people who are transacting in F&O. So to make it discouraging for them, they have increased is what we hear from the budget speech.
Okay, sir. We'll come back to you. So we'll now move on to Ajay, sir, who is an entrepreneur and advocate.
Good morning. Good morning, all of you. Respected head of department, faculty members, my dear student friends. So this budget, to me, what I was expecting last month was, the key focus would be states like Tamil Nadu, West Bengal, because elections are due. But to my surprise, Karnataka is the highest gainer in this particular budget. Various investments that are coming in Karnataka's way. Now, I represent the startup industry. I basically coming from the banking and fintech. So what this budget has for the startups, now just to give you a little facts about startups, India is in the 3rd largest startup ecosystem in the world, followed by the United States and China. Bengaluru is number 1. Okay, Bengaluru is number 1. All the future entrepreneurs, advance congratulations to you. So we have about 128 unicorns. In that, only about 25-26 people are making profits. There are a number of reasons why still those unicorns are not into profitability. It's not only the government policy that plays an important role. There are many internal policies. As a founder, as a co-founder, the objective, the directions you take, all these matters a lot. So from this budget, allocation towards MSME sector is about 10,000 crores, which is a very good number. From the time Mudra Yojana was introduced, especially to the small and medium enterprises, 55-56,000 crores have been dispersed. So basically, I'm a corporate DSA. What business I'm into is we are a corporate DSA. We do disbursement of loans on behalf of banks. So currently, we touch upon MSME sectors. We do housing loans. So overall, put together, we disburse about 100 crores of loans every month. So in a year, we do about 1,200 crores. Now, 10,000 crores allocation to Mudra And you have another coverage, collateral free loan. A lot of people today fear to start a company because they feel, from where do I get the funds? Right? Today funding is pretty easy. My CA friend is here. He would prepare a projection for your business for the next 5 years. You approach any bank, you would easily walk away with a sanction letter of 10 lakh rupees. And what you will have to do with that 10 lakh is your choice. Right, so funding is quite easy today under this particular government. I'm not pro BJP, against Congress. I don't want to speak politics here. We are practicing advocates, so we'll have to be neutral. And on the other side, if you see, Sir mentioned about Vande Bharat. The real what is that called? Awakening moment came for the integral coach factory, that is ICF, which makes the coaches for India. Today, we stopped importing coaches. So our ICF is making wonderful trains. Because I come from the state, I'm from Bangalore, but I come from the state of Jharkhand. So earlier when we used to take a train from Jamshedpur, it used to take about 48 hours to reach Bangalore. Today, thanks to all the advanced trains, it takes about 24, 25 hours, like the Vande Bharat, the sleeper trains that are coming your way. So there are n number of opportunities in the business arena today. You guys can opt for entrepreneurship. Just take that risk. It's like, when I quit my job here at SSMRV, it was a big risk that I was putting forth. But it's worth taking that risk today. I feel accomplished. So today we are also launching a fintech platform, which I would be discussing on some other platform. So don't worry, the government policies are pretty cool today in you starting a company. So all the very best, SSMRV.
Sir, I just wanted to ask you, because tech is one sector. Other than tech, which are the domains in which our students can concentrate to become entrepreneurs?
See, today you need not solve a rocket science problem. Please understand. You need not solve a rocket science problem. The idea can be as small as starting a small bakery in an area where there is no bakery. Please understand. You need not solve complex problems. Okay? I do not want you to work on complex problems. Just identify the problem area. Okay? I was talking about my startup that we are going to start. Of course, we have other companies, but this is the fintech that we are going to start. This is just like a Paisa Bazaar and Bank Bazaar. Today, if you enter your details in Paisa Bazaar and Bank Bazaar, you get spammed, right? The next 24, 36 hours, you get calls from n number of companies, banks, troubling you. But that's not going to happen from what we are going to launch. So every sector has opportunity, especially if you look at the import-export point, right? This government has a lot of benefit, giving you a lot of benefits on the import-export side. So you can also start exporting. Okay, you can start exporting, especially products that are in great demand, like makhana. Makhana is, I guess all of you know what makhana is. The sourcing point of makhana is from the state of Bihar and Uttar Pradesh. You source it at 200 rupees or 300 rupees per kg. It's sold at 2,000 rupees in Bangalore and sold at 8,000 rupees in the global market. So similarly, apart from tech, you can get into various domain. Don't restrict yourself to tech, just building an app, building a website. No, work on problem solving areas, right? Even railways today, see, food is the biggest problem in railway, the IRCTC catering. See what you can do. See, Swiggy is there, Zomato is there delivering. What can you do, to solve the basic problem called, a good food for a travel journey of 30-35 hours? I hope I've answered your question.
Yes, sir. And one more question
Yes,
regarding women entrepreneurs. Is there any specific policy scheme or in which domain, as well as when it comes to funding part, what they can do?
Sir, currently funding incentives are given at various avenues, especially to women entrepreneurs. We have something called Nari Shakti. Every banks have a policy called Nari Shakti. Now, what advantage a Nari Shakti program has over other programs is that you get a rate of interest benefit. For example, a Mudra Yojana would cost you about 9 to 12%. If you are a woman entrepreneur, it's going to cost you about 8.5%. So 0.5% lesser when compared to male entrepreneurs. So sector-wise again, green energy. If you're a woman entrepreneur, green energy is a national livestock mission. If you are into raising chicken, poultry, etc., you get 50% state subsidy. So for example, if you borrow 2 crores, 1 crore is the subsidy, the maximum capping for NLM. See, if you have just 1 or 2 acres of land, even if you do not have agriculture land, just lease it, right? Just lease those agriculture lands just get back. People are now getting back to farming, if you have observed, right? So most of us, especially me, I'm thinking of next 10 years, I would get into farming. So we have wonderful schemes under the government of India, NLM, which gives 50% subsidy, right? 50% subsidy, the maximum cap is 2 crores.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Yes, sir.
To add one point on women entrepreneur, this budget specifically has a program called She Marts. So what exactly is the She Marts is self-help entrepreneur for women. And if self-help groups are there, SHGs we call self-help groups, where a common idea, women come together, about 20 people of them come together and contribute a similar amount on a monthly basis. ಚೀಟಿ ಅಂತ ನಾವೇನು ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಲ್ಲ, it is not exactly the ಚೀಟಿ, ಅದು ಒಟ್ಟಿಗೆ ಒಂದು 20 ಜನ ಹೆಣ್ಮಕ್ಳು ಒಟ್ಟಿಗೆ ಬಂದು, ಸುಮಾರು ಜನ ಒಟ್ಟಿಗೆ ಬಂದು, they make a equal contribution of funds for a common cause, ಆ ಥರ ಮಾಡಿಕೊಂಡು ಒಂದು self-help entrepreneurship, especially for women, she ಅಂತ. I don't know where the central government is getting the names from, who is suggesting. They provide a wonderful names for all these things. She is for her. For whom? For women. We have a special, this one, and sir said there are very important Nari Shakti, where predominantly when you are looking for a help with respect to women, more than 50% of the stakes of the company or predominant partnership have to come from women. So if that is the case, you will get interest subsidy also, that means reduced interest also, and collateral free loans also are available. And the wonderful scheme of the government through budget is CGTMSE, where central government guarantee scheme is there. You need not have to have own property to give a collateral for the loans you take for having your business or funding your business. The government will give a guarantee, central government will give you a guarantee with a fee of about 1% to 1.5%. If it is very risky, 2%. Maximum is 2%. So you can take a loan without collateral, but by paying a guarantee fee to the central government. And mostly MSMEs are doing this. Mostly MSMEs are taking the loan under CGTMSE. Sir may know, because he is a DSA, he will know lot of things. What is DSA? Direct selling agent, where he is a bridge between the government, bankers and the MSMEs. Okay, he acts as a bridge. Okay, that's about women entrepreneurship.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. To your observation, you can make that observation, and the next question was to you itself. Yes, sir. You can start with that. Along with that, you can also answer one more query, that it is regarding what people have been suggesting, that everything has happened in the last 10 years, but nothing prior to that. So here, because some of the facts are that technology has also evolved, and according to the technology, the changes would have happened. But some of them that claim about everything has happened in the last 10 years and nothing before that has happened, whether it is true or not, correct or not, according to the facts. This is another question to that point which you want to make it.
Okay. Thank you for the question, sir. That I'll address after 30 seconds. First thing I want to tell you is, sir spoke so much numbers and so much policy, so many policies. My brain is running all the algebraic equations. And sir is like one Bhagavad Gita sitting next to me. So, because see, to gain that knowledge also, it is very difficult in today's generation and today's situation as such. I am very recently passed out in 22, in the year 22. So not a long time from there till here. But I'll tell you one thing. ಇಷ್ಟೊಂದಿಗೆ ಅಲ್ಲೇ ಒಂದು ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಅಟೆನ್ಷನ್ ಸ್ಪ್ಯಾನ್ ಹೋಗಿರುತ್ತೆ. I'll tell you one thing. Sir spoke about self-help groups and how the government is promoting and boosting them. Very good. How many of you are here from Kerala? Anyone from Kerala? Any Kerala origin roots? Yes, sir. Sir, you know one of the most famous. Sir, ಒಬ್ರು ಸಾಕು. Okay. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ನೋಡಿ. So, sir, you must be familiar with this SSG called Kudumbashri. Very famous group. It went to the zenith of its growth to such a point that it formed its own Chotasa government. They have their own cooperative societies. They are giving employment to women. Now see, it was started by 12 people, right? It was started by 12 people in 2000s. But it grew to a very, very, very large scale where they are giving out loans today within the community. Community as in people who are a part of the SSG. And they are building roads, toilets and things like that. A very successful scheme, a very successful expedition as such, if we may say. That shows that if civic sense is maintained in this country, it can do wonders, right? But what does the government do? It says, wow, beautiful, we'll adopt this into different states. Okay, so under the same scheme, the ministry which deals with women and children, Maneka Gandhi, if I'm not wrong, when she was heading the portfolio, she told, let us bring Kudumbashri under the wings of the government, and they brought it. Do you know what is the loan they have today? They have a loan of 87 crores outstanding. So what happens is, the way the government functions and the way we function, there's a difference. Nami bekandre on parleji hogi tagond barthivi. I'll challenge you. If you want a parleji in a police station, bring it, even if you are an SHO. Do you know how many paperwork you have to fill? PC one paper kodbeku. By the time you have filled the number of pages, right? With that itself, you can buy an entire rack of parleji. That is the level of red tapeism this country is going on. What I'm telling is, country's vision is amazing, super fantabulous. I have no comments on it. Engi andre sir helidru, the kind of names they come. Recently, I have a farmhouse in Ramnagar, so they had put up a college called Ayush. And I saw, wow, what a name, but what does it mean? Then they were like Ayurveda, Unani, homeopathy and things like that, okay? Yoga, Siddhi and homeopathy. Very nice, Alva. So nice to hear, beautiful. But the thing is, you need to remember that all that looks glittery and fancy, at the end of the day, you need to see what is written in the book. If there was no law in this country, yaro bandbit yaro murder mado idru keltirilla. But why there is a pendency of litigation in the courts also? This is the same reason. We are not updating ourselves. You take a different country, when the budget is stated, it's made. You have technical and financial experts here. They are telling it's a beautiful budget. But we will feel, the execution is failing. That you need to remember. Second of all, sir spoke about, sir projected a wonderful question towards me, saying that before 10 years, there was no such development.
There has been that claim, which has I have repeatedly heard. So I'm curious to know about that, whether it is actually correct or not.
See, politics aside, I'll tell you, let's say you are at an age where you are like 22, 23. Super kanta idira, you're looking beautiful, amazing. Ira bara udiyarella nimme right swipe, udugurella right swipe ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ. You are looking very beautiful. That is the best time of your lives. Has anyone been through that? Don't worry, you will come to that phase. ಹಂಗಂತ ಈ ಫೇಸ್ ಯೂಸ್ಲೆಸ್. ಇದನ್ನ ದಾಟಿದ್ರೆ ಅಲ್ಲಿಗೆ ಹೋಗ್ತಿರ್ತಾನೆ. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಏನೋ ಒಂದು ಬದಲಾವಣೆ ಆಗ್ಬೇಕು, ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಏನೋ ಒಂದು ಪ್ರೋಗ್ರೆಷನ್ ಆದ್ರೆ ತಾನೆ ಅಲ್ಲಿಗೆ ಹೋಗ್ತೀರ. ಎರಡನೇದಾಗಿ the vast influence of social media. I don't want to say that the media houses in this country are bought, because they'll cancel me. This cancel culture in this country is very strong. But what I'm trying to tell is, what they want you to see, you're seeing. I'll give you a very small example. Recently, our Prime Minister got down from his beautiful aircraft. Thousands of crores, taxpayers' money, he got down. Very elegant, smart looking. Okay. And the Premier of China also got down. You know what was the comparison? You take up, different media like Al Jazeera or Beyond or things like that. They started comparing the turbines on the Chinese aircraft and the turbines on the Indian aircraft. Okay, that we should try to make indigenous aircrafts. That will help our country to progress. That way we do not have to, depend for defense tech on different countries. Good observation, agreed, yes. What wonderful, one of our leading journalists, I don't want to name her, she says that देख के चाइनीज प्राइम मिनिस्टर कैसे पकड़ के उतर रहा है और हमारे प्रधानमंत्री नीचे उतर रहे हैं विदाउट पकड़े. Even the Prime Minister will not approve that statement. He will tell, look at the progress I have done, not how I am getting down. Trust me, the country is being led to a different direction by a few people here, not everybody. If you feel the heat, when I am in Delhi, I can feel the heat of governance and policy making. When you are at Delhi, you will understand that every piece of paper, every breath they take, be it the finance minister, be it the defense minister, be it the honorable prime minister of this country, they are working relentlessly to make sure that our lives are easier. But what does the media do? They are actually projecting them a little more funny. They are asking them to focus on the things they are doing, but they are focusing on the kheer that our honorable prime minister is eating. So I do not agree at all with the statement that for the past 10 years there has been no development. See, I'll give you one small example, sir, before concluding. There is a plant called Chinese bamboo. Have you heard of it? Now what happens is you plant it into the ground. For 5 or 7 years, you have to keep watering it. You have to keep nurturing it. Every day you have to look at it so that it doesn't get spoiled. 1 centimeter bhumi nacha barabar. But after 7 years, ekdam se 110 centimeter beliyutte. So does it mean that all these 7 years of nurture care is useless? It took some time to settle in, right? The country is seeded in. The country started making its foundation roots stronger. Of course, corruption has always been, Honorable Rajiv Gandhi once told, it seems, if the 15 rupees has been dispersed, then people are getting only 1 rupee. So it has happened since the 90s. I'm not factoring in corruption, political ideologies, coalition, non-coalition, all of this. But what you need to understand is, you cannot say that progression has not happened. It has slowly oiled the wheels. Okay? ಈಗ ಏನು ಬಂದಿದೆ, ನೀಟಾಗಿ ಒಂದು ಡೌನ್ ಬಂದಿದೆ, ಕಾರ್ ನಿಂತಿದೆ, ಬ್ರೇಕ್ ಬಿಟ್ಟ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಫಾಸ್ಟಾಗಿ ಹೋಗೇ ಹೋಗುತ್ತೆ. ಬಟ್ ಇಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಯೋರ್ ಪಾಯಿಂಟ್ ವೇರ್ ಯು ನೀಡ್ ಟು ನೋ ವೇರ್ ಟು ಹಿಟ್ ದ ಬ್ರೇಕ್ಸ್, ವೇರ್ ಟು ಹಿಟ್ ದ gas pedal, where to take it in the proper direction. So I completely reject the statement that for the past 10 years there has been no development before the certain set governments. That might sound controversial. I'm sorry, ಯಾರಿಗಾರು ಬೇಜಾರಾಗಿದೆ, ಏನು ಮಾಡಕ್ಕೆ.
I'll just add an adjacent. I'll give you an example. Things about, I think Sir spoke about a very valid point and having thoughts and implementing that and how far can it be implemented. So my view, I'll give you an example, if you want a practical example. So typically in companies what happens is when there are requirements for IT, we go and bid. A tender, government tender, or we go and bid. When you go very close to the tender bidding date, chances are you will not win. Because somebody else has worked with the agency to get in their specs and they are going to win. So one of our senior execs said, let's go and bid into this. 1 week left. My question was, why would we even bid? Because I know we have a losing chance, 100% loss. We will not win this deal. And he's been doing that for over many different deals. Let's bid. So he made a very valid point which stuck with me. He says, if you at least participate, they'll have you in the mind. If you stop participating, you're out of mind, out of sight, out of mind. They're not even considering you next time. You may lose 10 times, but the 11th time at least we will think that, okay, let me give them a chance of participation at least. Let me do that. So similarly here, what happens is when you have the intent, when you start doing something, if that keeps being shown on your face, at some point you'll start to feel that, hey, I've been saying this too much, what have I been doing? I think that's the phase probably it's getting to is what I feel. That, you know, you've been saying so much, what exactly is happening? I think action, at least in IT, we see a lot of action happening around. Today, I meet a lot of founders, of these big brands and digital native companies. It was surprising and pleasing for me to understand that the union ministry is in touch with them on future initiatives. One of the biggest things is being coachable. I think I tell this to you as well, students as well, right? Whether you're a student, professional, no matter where you're in life, you have to remain coachable. The day you start thinking that I know everything and probably I'm not coachable, probably that's where you will not progress from there on. So I think today what I see is that, at least from what I've heard, they have remained coachable as to they're open to feedback. They want to understand what goes well, getting the right people who have pragmatic approaches versus those traditional approaches that probably would have existed earlier. Which is why they're bringing industry knowledge into the governance, as well as AI is becoming a big thing now. So even the government, if you see the union IT minister's statements, he says we need AI reskilling at college levels and at industry levels. Because without that recent announcement by Anthropic Cloud, I don't know if you know, who would have imagined that one announcement of one software feature would bring down markets? all the major IT service providers lost their, at least a good share of their share price just because of one announcement. And that's where we have to make ourselves aware, and you as students have to look at whatever your core trade profession is, how do you bring in the digital aspect, the AI aspect, the intelligence aspect into that, the digital intelligence aspect. That's when you will have a comprehensive career, you will be able to do better in your job and also grow. That's what I want to add.
Yes, sir. To add on to that, because see, most of them they're from commerce background. So technically, how they can improvise from that background.
Good question, sir. So today, I have to upgrade myself, right? My knowledge of last 10 years is not enough because every day there's a disruption in knowledge. Every day there's something new coming up. So it becomes very hard to do a catch-up game every day. What I look at is, if AI is the new song, is the new theme of the day, AI in itself needs some sort of a support. There are basics and fundamentals around AI which all of us should be clear about. But then the application is what matters. I think I'll go back to Sir's comment on having an idea, implementing are two different things. With reading AI, you may just have an idea of AI, but then the question is, how do I really apply this? So, for example, in your own commerce, let's say in your whatever you're doing, you have to see where can I bring in intelligence. Today we call it prompt engineering, because I don't want to do so much of work. I go and put a prompt saying that, hey, I need a presentation ready by tomorrow to this client based on certain conditions. I want to present some data to them. Can you pull this to me? That is an application in your own field. Purely growing AI, it's like, okay, good. I know what is a large language model. I know what is a model token, etc. All those jargons that are there. But it doesn't have any meaning unless you apply it in your own trade. So one has to understand that these basics are there, but now how do I apply this in my own field to make my job better, my client's life better, and then probably increase our prospects of growth.
Thank you, sir.
So how for commerce students like us, commerce graduates like us, are benefited from this budget is what I am focusing now. There is a beautiful announcement and which will definitely come into force. Corporate Mitras, the new announcement by our Honorable Finance Minister as Corporate Mitras. What is this Corporate Mitras? How many of you here are chartered accountants, are students of chartered accountancy? Not even 2, 3 I got. For all of you who did not lift the hands, Corporate Mitras have been announced. Who cannot become chartered accountants, but from ICAI, from ICSI, company secretaries, from ICMA, cost and management accountancy. From these institutes, there will be another additional course offered specifically for commerce graduates, where they can take that certification from these institutes, and these institutes predominantly work for the nation, okay? If they have to implement, they will implement. That's how the CS have been come. So these institutes will create a platform where they give a certification and training for all the commerce graduates and make them corporate mitras, where they can be employed either in corporates or MSME for fulfilling the numerous compliances that the business have to do today. Yes or no? So that's a wonderful thing where the employability will increase for commerce graduates.
Yes, thank you, sir. So we'll slightly change the topic with one last question to our panelists, and after that it is open to the students, Q&A. So this is regarding the sectoral allocation. One is specifically with regard to defense and education sector. So I just wanted to get your opinion on that, because from the past, not just 10 years or even prior to that, we have been seeing that military is defense share in the budget is highest compared to education. So is it right, wrong, or what is the policy forward according to our panelists? So this is my question.
Okay, can I go ahead? Okay, so just to answer, I'll come back to this question. The previous question, whether the previous government did not do anything, the current government is doing. I completely disagree whether the previous government did, the current government is doing. Like Sir rightly said, it's a steady growth that India has seen post-independence. Now, if you look at from the education point of view, the number of premier institutes like IITs and IIMs, I guess IIT until 2014 was about 12 IITs and 12 IIMs. Today we have about 24 IITs and 24 IIMs. On the other side, if you see number of medical colleges, healthcare sector especially, has seen a drastic growth. If you've seen the number of MBBS seats, though NEET is a controversial problem in states like Tamil Nadu, but even otherwise, the number of medical seats have drastically increased in the country. Now, not just the educational institutions, even mental health today is a big problem. All of us go through some or the other type of a mental health. This budget announces two new NIMANs. The National Institute of Medical Health and Neurosciences is in Bangalore. Now, the need has arisen that we need to set up two mental health institutes in the state of Jharkhand and Bihar. That's a great move, because every day we encounter some or the other problem, right? Today we get into depression quite often, right? We fail in business, we get into depression. A lot of things, that personal problems, we get into depression. So such institutes are being promoted. It took about 70 years for government to announce two more NIMANs. So overall, I can give you sector-wise example, but we are running short of time. Now, coming to the allocation of budget into the defense sector, it is much needed. Right? I don't want to name our neighbors. There are neighbors who we gave birth to, right? Are now troubling us. Right? A lot of activists in Karnataka I see today are speaking against the Bangladeshis. Let me be very honest and brutal. Okay. So, so we have very good neighbors, right, as you know, from the east, the west. So we need funding, yes, to strengthen our defense, right? Now, sir also spoke about manufacturing of indigenous aircrafts. HAL has started, okay? The real potential of Hindustan Aeronautics Limited has come out post 2014, which I did not see before 2014, which one must also understand. So the real potential of government sectors are shown today, okay? So defense, yes, it is very important. Coming to education, yes, the government of India is again focusing not too much when compared to defense. Yes, the current situation needs the government to allocate funds to the defense sector. So that's what, I guess, from the last 6 budgets, if you see, the government is focusing on the defense sector.
Right. Since it's a question that has been posed to the entire panel as such, let me put this question before you. Do you think defense is important or education? When I say defense, who feel yes, raise your hand. When I say education, raise your hand. Let's take a vote share. Okay. Defense. Give one opinion. Don't sit on the wall. Okay. Put your hands down. Education. Sir, the scales are tilting left or right. Okay, fine. So the majority I see is defense, right? Very good. But let me ask you this. Is this country secured? Or do we have porous borders? Porous borders as in sir told. Do you think are we safe externally? No. That is the reason you voted for defense in the way. But see, I'll tell you one thing. First, you need to build a secured future inside. Right? The country has enough sustainable amount of money to project it or put it into the education sector. But where are we failing is we are not addressing the key issues that we need. How many of you know the new educational policy 2020? Big announcement. They came in Delhi, CBSE, ICSE board, they came together, they told vocational abilities. Are you seeing any vocational improvements in your degree colleges or your schools?
Karnataka has gone from NEP to SEP.
Now SEP has
NEP was there only for 1 year.
NEP is scrapped.
No. The point what I'm asking is, generally vocation was given a very big push when NEP came into position, right? Be it the state level or the central level. The concept that I'm talking about is vocational. What is happening today? Vocation is not given the same amount of importance that it was spoken about in the beginning. So we are not building a proper secured future. When you see another child from a different geographical region, excelling in robotics and saying, you know, why the country is not giving such good robotic engineers, or why people from the AI industries are not developing. The people who have already developed, they are getting the money from the country. The government is granting funds. If you see this time, the what do you call the deep search, AI as such, cloud and things like that. I'm not very familiar with the technical terms as such, but that has got a huge plunge of around 12,000 crores. Isn't that a good amount of money? But why wait till you come to the level where you are actually capable of being an integral part in the AI industry? Is my question. You can start that at a school level, you can start that at a graduation level. Coming back to the defense as such, I have no issues with the amount of money that is being poured into the defense sector. We have huge respect for our armed forces. Recently, Operation Sindoor gave us a very big victory, and I think yes, they deserve a round of applause. And there will be a lot of naysayers, Sumne Tarsidru, Nilsidru, Matarsidru. We can't explain that to people who do not understand the concept of what a war is, what the front lines are, what the people go through, right? Anyways, we cannot talk on the emotional aspect. But what I pitch here is, I think the country should focus more on the indigenously made things. We are still exporting a lot of our defense equipment from wonderful countries like Russia, United States. Now, why Donald Trump sits at the top, making, you do know that the United States makes the highest amount of its revenue from defense exports, right? So, the reason they instigate wars recently when Venezuela was taken over, of course, people think it's the oil, but they're instigating a war. They say Russia and Ukraine war should stop, but internally, who is supplying the weaponry? It's your Lockheed Martins, it's your same old companies that originate from the United States. They send their men in black to go deliver these, weapons of mass destruction. So what I'm trying to tell is, even the Indian Air Force chief has somewhere not given his complete consent on his confidence in our indigenous HAL as such, which is very sad, because such statements should not come out in public. Because whatever the internal differences we have, that should be discussed in a boardroom within closed doors. You shouldn't make a statement on a central government based, it kind of breaks morale. It's your team. At the end of the day, they may be engineers, but they are your team. But okay, all that things kept aside, I think the weaponry, when it comes to your assault rifles, from the basic assault rifles, your frag grenades, your C4s, your missiles, all of these need to be indigenously developed. That will cut down somewhere the money that is going out of the country, is my personal belief, and that will also kind of create a balance between the education sector and the defense sector, is what I feel. So I don't want to take sides on whether defense should be allocated more money as of now, because given the current threatening situations, I don't think we can say that one side is right and the other side is right.
And added to that one more question, because in defense, if you see, once you allocate the budget and the weapons, if it becomes outdated, whatever you have spent, it is throwing that into the water. That's what it is.
Sir, it is sorry, before sir answers. See, no weapon is outdated. For a country like India, it could be outdated, but India would again export it to a country which, probably would be the topmost technology for underdeveloped country.
No, within 5 years,
We can transfer.
It becomes so you cannot make use of that weapon.
Sir, I would like to add to his point. Till 2011, we were using our 303, which was given by our friends from the British. Okay, 1947ರಿಂದ ಅದೇ ತುಪಾಕಿ 5 ಸರ್ತಿ ಲೋಡ್ ಮಾಡು ಹೊಳಿ ಆ ಜಾಮ್ ಆಗ್ತಿತ್ತು. ಮೊದಲು ಎಷ್ಟು ಜನ ಪೊಲೀಸ್ ಕಾನ್ಸ್ಟೇಬಲ್ ಜೀವ ಹೋಗಿದೆ KSRP ಅವರು I know, because I have written all those reports, right? We were using 303 till 2011, but post 2011, all the weaponry that was your basic rifles that was used by the Indian Army, armed forces basically, was later on given to your state police, your CRPF, all your central armed police forces, your ITBP, CISF, CRPF, CAPF, all of them got their weapons, and today all are dealing with INSAS, which is not a very great gun, I must say. If anybody is from NCC, they'll understand what I'm trying to tell. So it's not a great weapon, but somewhat it is doing the job. But what I'm trying to tell is, I think the local police power and the defense sector, maybe not as, defense armed forces of this country, maybe not on the same level, but the weaponry needs to be improvised today. because somewhere the threats that we are facing, the Bangladeshi immigrants which are entering into the country, the terrorist forces which are coming into the country, the explosions that we see at Red Fort. Now you can't expect a person with his old revolver 6 rounds to go fire at a man who is coming with an AK-47. So you need to face a Kalashnikov with a 56 or a 54 is what I feel. So yeah, somewhere it is recycled, but not at a large scale. Again, it is sold to a different market. We are not gaining a lot of money out of it, but I think a little more strategic and with a little more discipline, we should structure the amount of weaponry that we are taking, because like you said, sir, there was a backdraft of around 24,000 assault rifles, which was left to decay. And all of that metal went into nothing but scrap. And more of, we can actually give our own people who are into the arms and ammunition manufacturing sector a little more chance, because they are coming up with wonderful machineries and weaponaries. So I think that can be a point. Sir,
So to speak on the defense, I'll conclude in 2 minutes, very important few points. To speak on the defense, this budget has given about 11% of the total expenditure on the defense. And the predominant defense area that we are recognizing is AMCA, Advanced Medium Combat Aircraft, is what we are aiming from few years. And this year there have been a step which is taken on a very high note. It has been taken away from HAL. The AMCA project have been taken away from HAL, and it is given to Tata's and the group companies for manufacturing, and it is expected to come in 2028. The model is expected to come in 2028 and ready to join our Air Force, Indian Air Force by 2035. Okay, and as you said, the outdated things. Our Indian Army, Indian Air Force, Indian Navy is world-class military organization. Why? We may not have an advanced weapons, advanced mechanism we may not have, but our soldiers, our pilots are extraordinary. You cannot find them anywhere in the world. Even Israeli pilots are not as good as our Indian pilots. When someone asked a question, when F-18 was brought out by Pakistan, we took out our MiG-21 against F-18. F-18 is introduced somewhere in 2000s, and MiG-21 was somewhere in 1960s, Soviet Union's manufactured aircraft, but we won against it. We were succeeded by sending F-18 out of our territorial region by using MiG-21. Who is the pilot? Abhinandan. Yes or no? He used MiG-21 against F-18. MiG-21 is first generation aircraft. F-18 is three and a half generation aircraft. Howda? So outdated illa. Note ಓಡಿಸೋ ಅಂತವ್ರು ಕರೆಕ್ಟ್ ಆಗಿದ್ರೆ ಬೆನ್ಸ್ ಪಕ್ಕದಲ್ಲಿದ್ರು ಮಾರುತಿ 800 can beat it, provided the driver is good.
I completely agree to sir's spirit of passion. Again, as panelists, we do not contradict each other's opinion. It is only an additional opinion. Okay, please don't. I don't want to, because that will ruin the spirit of brotherhood that we have. But the point is, I'll tell you, if you take that example, how many of you know the Kargil war? How many of you know General Karyappa, pride of Kodagu? Yes. He also went on to become the field marshal. Yes. Right? Am I right or wrong? Tappidre helbudre. Live hogta ide adike. So he also took down the Pakistani fighter jets at that point of time. Yes, I agree. But what happens is, the passion that is driven by a soldier, I completely accept. But as people who are sitting, policy making people, you need to remember that you do not send a soldier to a gunfight with a knife. I think the government should take care of that soldier like his or her own child. And if that life goes away in martyrdom, yes, we will respect it. But can we try to avoid that martyrdom? You know, ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ದಿವಸ ಅದೇನೋ ಅಂತಾರೆ, इस देश के लिए मरने वाले नहीं चाहिए, इस देश के लिए जी के कुछ करने वाले चाहिए ಅಂತ. We want people who will do something for this country by living a few more days. And that is but sir told about the indigenous aircraft which is coming in. Yes, that is the kind of developments that this country needs, and we can be proud about that fact. And the more and more we start producing internally, manufacturing internally. Yeah, sadly, our own people have started joining forces with the Russians. Of course, yeah. So basically, they are incommunicado. We don't know what is happening with them, what they are going through. Some are crying, they want to come back. Yeah, so somewhere, sometimes, passion. Yes, this country has given birth to each and every brave heart that we see. Recently, when I was in the war memorial at Delhi, you see the number of stones that were laid one after the other, the names. My hands were literally shivering. There were thousands of names. You know what was the fact that made me go weak in the knee? There were 1,000 more empty stones, which means the names will keep on adding. That is the sad reality of the country. So we can never, undermine the sacrifices that they make for our country. But Solpa we can, make sure that they're safer when they are going outside. Is what I feel. That's just a personal opinion, not contradicting Sir's opinion. Thank you.
So one more point, quick point. See, my limited knowledge in defense, like sir said, what if the equipment goes outdated? The defense in India is designed in such a way that we have the Gorkha regiment, we have the Maratha regiment. So they're trained to use certain type of weapons. See, for example, we import some guns from Ukraine or Russia. It doesn't mean that the entire army is going to use it. So there are certain wings in the army that only fights with the sword, knife. There are wings which will fight in pistol. Now, see, outdated one must never fear. Every field, for that matter, we study for about 15 years, we graduate, we go sit in an interview, okay, and the HR tells you, I will get back to you. Do you feel outdated? Do you feel outdated? You shouldn't feel outdated. See, sir is an engineer, right? If he sticks on to the same old coding technique, I think he would not fit to be a consultant in the IT industry today. He has to adopt to AI. It doesn't mean that what coding he has learned in his engineering college is of waste. He can still teach students or probably his child, because a lot of companies now teaching coding at school level. So nothing is outdated, even the outdated version can be renovated and brought to something that is being productive. Thank you so much for the opportunity.
I think nothing. I think well said. I think well put. I would only say it was a good gathering and good to hear these views. But otherwise, I made all my comments.
Thank you very much for all the panelists. It was an enriching discussion. So now it is open to Q&A for students. You can raise your hand and please. So volunteers, you can take the mic and give it to the respective student. Yeah, you can stand here.
The buttons at the bottom. Take this. Long press.
So my name is Harsha. So I have a argument with the Aryan sirs.
No argument, question, and you can make your point.
It's okay. If I'm wrong, I'll correct myself.
Yes, sir. So with all due respect, sir, you mentioned about the semiconductor industry and how the government's investment and we have to ensure accountability and all that. But I would say the more important argument when it comes to specifically semiconductors is also that the citizens question the feasibility of it. The reason I'm saying this is I have my valid arguments for that. The thing is, this is not the first time in our country we tried to start manufacturing semiconductors. We have tried it, if I remember correctly, 3 times since 1960s. The reason many times it didn't work, the main reason, as you mentioned, it is because of the bureaucracy and as well as lack of transparency with the audience, with the government and companies. But when it comes to manufacturing semiconductors especially, there is a particular nuance to this industry. That being, it is a very competitive industry to the point where there is only one major company in the entire world which manufactures semiconductors. and there is only one company which manufactures the machine to make semiconductors, that being TSMC and ASML. So, as a country, we should focus more on developing fabless companies like how AMD and Nvidia are, rather than just taking pride in investing in manufacturing, which might even go obsolete in a few years, which we are developing. Because this happened recently in China as well as in the US. So, as citizens, I would say we not just have to demand transparency, but also the feasibility.
Thank you for your valuable observation. Thank you. And I always, can we have a round of applause for it? Because it takes us time to come and speak to a panelist and say, see, this is where I feel that you are right or wrong or whatever. Please, you take your seat. I'll feel that you're standing. Please take your seat. You're all equals. All right? Right. So, Mr. Rasha, wonderful name, very trending name. See, no, 99.9 ಹುಡುಗಿಯರು ಅವಾಗ ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಬೆಲೆ ಬರೋದು ಹೆಸರಿಗೆ ಅದಾಯ್ತಾ ಓಕೆ jokes apart, on a serious note, my dear friend, learned friend here spoke about why I am telling that transparency is important or manufacturing may go obsolete. See, you spoke about China. Yes, China is now coming on the brink of making manufacturing industry obsolete. But how many years we are trying to enter into the manufacturing game? That is the question. We are still baby steps into manufacturing. You know, we are part of Asia, right? We stand in the Asian continent in a very powerful position, be it the trade routes or the port routes or the airways. Anything that happens, if we are able to produce, then we cut down the competition that is to our left, right? We start cutting down our competition. And the concept of semiconductors goes into everything, from your Gambit smart ring to your Mahindra Thar and Scorpios, everything needs a semiconductor. At this point of time, semiconductor manufacturing and production is a very easy, not, okay, easy is a very simple term, I would say, which is a very valid option that we might take with the infrastructure and the geographical boundaries that we have. Now again, he also questioned that, you know, the machine that manufactures the semiconductors itself is on a different playing field and we will not be able to bring that in. See, one thing, like sir said, the passion of our soldiers is very strong. Ade tara, there is one more thing which is very strong with India. What do you feel that is? I think somebody is telling it. We are very strong. We are the sons of Chanakya, sons and daughters of Chanakya. It's our diplomacy. If we put our hearts and minds into diplomacy, ಈ ಜಗತ್ತಲ್ಲಿ ಯಾವ ಮಷೀನು ಇಲ್ಲ, ಯಾವ ಪ್ರೆಸಿಡೆಂಟು ಇಲ್ಲ, ನಮ್ಮ ದೇಶಕ್ಕೆ ಬಂದು ಇನ್ವೆಸ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಕ್ಕೆ ನಾವು ಮಾಡದೇ ಇಲ್ಲ. Okay, that is the end game that we have. Our diplomacy has always been strong. How many of you know our NSA chief advisor, Ajit Doval sir? Yeah, can you talk about his diplomacy? So similarly, if we talk on a diplomatic level, with our diplomatic trade relationships and routes as such, with our neighbors and with yeah, unfortunately, but yes, that is true. But of course, we do have some friends from the Mossad, from the Israel as such. So if we are somewhere able to set up that, then the semiconductor manufacturing will be on a better level. And of course, when I say manufacturing itself, it is not only semiconductors. There are a plethora of things. But what I am trying to focus is on the red tapeism should come down, and also semiconductor was just a word in the question because I don't remember who, but they spoke about the semiconductor, so I was pitching on it. So there are n number of fields, like sir told, startup ಅಂತ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ನೀವು ಹೋಗ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಯಾವುದೋ ಒಂದು ದೊಡ್ಡ ರಾಕೆಟ್ ಸೈನ್ಸ್ ಕಟ್ಟಬೇಕು ಅಂತಲ್ಲ. ತರಕಾರಿ ಮಾರೋದು ಬ್ಲಿಂಕಿಟ್ 5 ನಿಮಿಷದಲ್ಲಿ ಕೊಡ್ತೀರಾ, ನೀವು 3 ನಿಮಿಷದಲ್ಲಿ ಕೊಟ್ಟರೆ ನಿಮ್ಮ ಕಂಪ್ನಿ ಸೂಪರ್ ಸಕ್ಸಸ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ, ಯೂನಿಕಾರ್ನ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಬೇರೆಯವ್ರಿಗೆ ಮಾರಿ ಮುಂದಕ್ಕೆ ಹೋಗ್ತಾ ಇರ್ತೀವಿ. That is the speed at which profits are being made. Similarly, even under manufacturing, there are a lot of sectors and fields. ಅದ್ರ ಮೇಲೆ ಯಾರಿಗಾರು ನನ್ನ ಜೊತೆ ಡಿಬೇಟ್ ಮಾಡಕ್ಕಿದ್ರೆ ದಯವಿಟ್ಟು ರಿಮೆಂಬರ್ ದೇರ್ ಆರ್ ಅದರ್ ಪ್ಯಾನಲಿಸ್ಟ್ ಆಲ್ಸೋ. ನಾನು ಒಬ್ಬನೇ ಹಾಕೊಂಡು ಟಾರ್ಗೆಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀನಿ. ಜಸ್ಟ್ ಥ್ಯಾಂಕ್ ಯು ಹರ್ಷ.
Any other question? Raise your hand.
Yes.
There.
Yeah, good afternoon, everybody. Sir, since you were stressing on Vande Bharat, how many of you have them traveled, sir? Sir, has traveled. Sir, what's the fare?
800 rupees to 1000, it varies from
Yeah,
place to place.
it's okay for high class people, but what about the middle class and lower middle class, sir? Have you seen a
ಇಂಥ ಮಾತು ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪೆಕ್ಟ್ ಇವತ್ತು ಚಿನ್ನದ ರೇಟ್ ಎಷ್ಟು? What is the rate of the gold today? It is about 16,500 rupees, which was about 10,000 rupees a year back and about 6,000 rupees 2 years back. And 16,500, if you go to jewel shops, even now you can see the people there. Okay, one. Second, have you ever traveled in Vande Bharat?
Never, sir.
No, why? You did not get an opportunity or you could not afford?
I did not get an opportunity.
That's all. Okay. If you go and see book for a Vande Bharat, you will not get the ticket. Secondly, Vande Bharat is about 700 to 800 rupees along with the food. Okay, if you don't take the food, it will be little lesser. Some Vande Bharat, it is compulsory food. Leave those things apart. Apart from Vande Bharat, you have other this one also, trains also. If you are feeling Vande Bharat is too costly for you, you can travel in other this one also. Because see, in a nation, different kinds of people are there. In a nation, different kinds of people are there. It is not only always you focus on poor. If you are very poor, if you can't afford, you can travel in a general bogies and general trains. If you can afford, if you want to go and reach soon. Okay, see, I am in Bangalore. If I have a case in Dharwad, or if sir wants to go and attend a case in Dharwad bench, he can get into Vande Bharat in the morning and reach before the court starts.
Yes, sir, that's good.
Okay, so it is for a different kinds of people. It is for a different kinds of people. The different trains are introduced. Similarly, in this budget, super fast trains are also given. Super fast train will be much costlier to Vande Bharat. Where you are traveling for 3 hours in Vande Bharat, you could travel in only 1 hour. So if you can afford it, it is wonderful. Secondly, the per capita income and affordability of the people have also drastically increased. If you see, that's why I wanted to tell about gold. That's why I not to put you down, I just told all our people are gaining their per capita income today. Their per capita income is increasing. They can afford it. Okay, even at 16,500, people are there to buy the gold. I am getting constant messages. Did you ask the price of gold in Bima Jewelers? I can show you the message now.
The rise in the gold is due to the geopolitical tension.
No. I have just said the consumption, not rise in price. I told people are there to consume at every price. That's all I wanted to.
But if
And
you have
also,
seen,
my opinion is, if I can add to what sir said, see, there are different tiers in the society who want to spend differently based on what they get in return. The goods and services are designed that way. In a way, if you look at all this allocation that I have in the budget, somewhere the tax has to be collected. So why not, if people who can afford, who pay that, and then also that gets as a top tax mop up and that helps improve the basic quality services as well. Why would we not do that? That's my point. Basically, I'm not a finance expert, but I'm just giving you my layman view. I'll ask you another question in return. 2 idlis go to a Darshini, 30 rupees probably. Look at one of the delivery platforms, 80 rupees. Right? Why would somebody order 2 idlis for 80 rupees versus 30 rupees go to Darshini? It's convenience. Basically, they are willing to spend, they can afford, they would like to, they intend. That's how it goes, right? So society, like he says, is different strata. There's different strata, there's different things. So each strata has their own, ways of spending, what they can do, what they don't want to do, and basically it's all designed that way.
yes, I understood that. I'm not against Vande Bharat, but what I'm saying is, if you travel in the general class, there's no place you want to stand. The people are dying, and if you go through
You are not against Vande Bharat, we are not against you. We are just trying to make a point as to how these things looked at it from an economical perspective, how the economies work, basically. That's all.
in general coaches, there is no place even to stand. The people are risking their lives. What about it? And before there was that, as far as I know, there was something called as railway budget. But now it's
Relax.
not
We
there.
understand. See, first of all, railway budget was there. Now we
Yeah.
don't have a railway budget. You need to remember.
Why is that?
Why that way ಅಂತ ಅಂದ್ರೆ there are sir,
No, I will address.
I can answer
A
that.
minute I will address. There is no separate railway budget speech. There is definitely a railway budget. There is no separate railway budget speech. Okay, it used to happen on a different day, but it is not happening now. But there were some allocations, there are allocations happening, which is 10 times, 15 times more than what used to happen before. Okay, so that is there, but it is not there as a separate thing.
See, buddy, I'll tell you one thing. There is a statement in Kannada, avaravara bhavake avaravara batuki. Similarly, you need to understand, ದುಡ್ಡು ಕೊಟ್ಟಷ್ಟು ನಿಮಗೆ ಸರ್ವಿಸಸ್ ಅಥವಾ ಥಿಂಗ್ಸ್ಗಳು ಸಿಗತ್ತೆ. ಈಗ ಸಮಾಜ ಹಂಗಾಗಿದೆ. ಮೊರಾಲಿಟಿ ಎಥಿಕ್ಸ್ ಎಲ್ಲ ಪಕ್ಕಕ್ಕೆ ಇಟ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ. ಫ್ಯಾಕ್ಟ್ 10 ರೂಪಾಯಿ ಕೊಟ್ಟರೆ ಬಿಸ್ಲೇರಿ ಕೊಡ್ತಾನೆ. ಇಲ್ಲ ಅಂತಂದರೆ ಹೋಗ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ನೀವು ಯಾವ್ದಾದ್ರು ಫಿಲ್ಟರ್ ನೀರು ಕುಡಿಬೇಕು. 5 ರೂಪಾಯಿ ಹಾಕ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ತುಂಬಿಸ್ಕೊಂಬಂದು ನೀರು ಕುಡಿಬೇಕಲ್ವಾ ಸರ್? ಅದನ್ನೇ ಹೇಳಿ. Everybody, as per their capacity, spending capacity, they are getting a particular service. Now, what you are telling is about the general compartment, the Balasore train accident. I understand your concern. Yes, that is the field that they will work on. That is the field where we need to bring in morality. Now, you cannot bring that and Vande Bharat into the same picture. Vande Bharat is catering to a different set of audience. General compartment is catering to a different set of audience. ಒಳ್ಳೆಗೆ ಎಲ್ಲರೂ ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಿ ಅಯ್ಯೋ ಪಾಪ ಬಡವ ಅಂತ. ಇದ್ರೆ 1000 ರೂಪಾಯಿ ಜೇಬಿಂದ ಯಾರು ತಕ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಲ್ಲ. ಕರೆಕ್ಟೋ ಇಲ್ವೋ? Similarly, if you have 1000 rupees, you will go in Vande Bharat. Illa Vidhi anta, you will go to general compartment. So there is a very different category for each and every rupee that you spend in this country. That is what sir is trying to tell. Don't take this concept as against Vande Bharat and things like that. Okay? And what you are asking is a more moral question. It's not a economic question, is what I feel. I may be wrong. All right.
Since middle classes pay the FT in IT, but they do not get the advantages. And there is something called as Suraksha. I think Suraksha, because due to the incident, the government did implement it, but nothing has. Only the lectures have been given, but no implementations.
You are talking about Suraksha, right? Railway safety.
Yes, sir, railway safety.
See, every day, like sir said, there is R&D happening. Railway is much safer today. Guys, please. Railways is much safer today, okay, when compared to about 10 years back. Okay, so I hope I've answered your question. So every day there is an improvement. Okay, you see in railways, you see the RPF, number of RPF being added into trains. Now coming to again answering the same question what you asked about Vande Bharat. Okay, it is just like the BMRCL versus the Calcutta Metro. For a distance from Kudlu Gate where I stay to Jayanagar is about 40 rupees. If the same distance if I have travelled in Kolkata, it's 5 rupees. The choice is yours. Especially the ladies, the choice is yours. Whether you want to take out your Aadhaar card, travel in BMTC, or get a 40 rupees ticket and travel in less than 12 minutes. Choice is yours. They have given you options. It's not that there is no monopoly. Please understand. Do you only see Vande Bharat trains?
No, sir. Railway is a non-profit organization.
But it is a profitable venture.
Railway is a profitable venture.
Non-profitable, sir.
It is.
Okay, I think we are running short of time. We have to end it at this stage.
Sir, one question.
Thank you for the opportunity, sir.
Okay, one last question from sir. Okay, one last question.
ಸರ್ ಆ್ಯಕ್ಚುಲಿ ನಾನು ಮಾತಾಡೋ ಉದ್ದೇಶ ಇರಲಿಲ್ಲ. ಲಾಸ್ಟ್ ಇದೊಂಥರ ಟ್ರಯಾಂಗಲ್ ಲವ್ ಸ್ಟೋರಿ ಥರ ಆಗೋಯ್ತು. ಬಡ್ಜೆಟ್ ಸ್ಟೇಷನು ಒಂದು ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಪಾಲಿಟಿಕ್ಸ್ಗೆ ಕನೆಕ್ಟ್ ಆಗೋಯ್ತು. ಸರ್ ಮಾತಾಡಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ 100% ಆಗೋದು. ಲಾಸ್ಟ್ 10 years ಡೆವಲಪ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಮಾತಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ರು. ನಾನು ಜಯನಗರದಲ್ಲಿದ್ದೀನಿ, ಬೆಂಗಳೂರು ಸೌತ್ ಪಾರ್ಲಿಮೆಂಟಲ್ಲಿದ್ದೀನಿ. ಎಷ್ಟು ಡೆವಲಪ್ ಆಗಿದೆ, ಎಷ್ಟು ಡೆವಲಪ್ ಆಗಿಲ್ಲ ಅಂತ ನಾನು ಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ ಹೇಳ್ಬೋದು. ಎಜುಕೇಷನ್, ಇಂಡಸ್ಟ್ರಿ, ಜಾಬ್, ನಮ್ಮ ಸ್ಟೂಡೆಂಟ್ಗೆ ಜನ ಕೆಲಸ ಸಿಕ್ಕಿದೆ, ಕೆಲಸ ಸಿಕ್ಕಿಲ್ಲ, ಅನ್ಎಂಪ್ಲಾಯ್ಮೆಂಟು, ಆಮೇಲಿಂದ ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟಪ್ಸು, ಆಮೇಲಿಂದ ರೋಡು, ಹಾಸ್ಪಿಟಲ್ಸು, ಇದೆಲ್ಲ ಹೆಂಗಾಗಿದೆ ಅಂತೇಳಿ ಡೀಟೇಲಾಗಿ ಹೇಳ್ಬೋದು. ಓಕೆ, ಇದಕ್ಕೆ ಓಲ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಸೋಲ್ 100% ಜವಾಬ್ದಾರಿ ಪ್ರೈಮ್ ಮಿನಿಸ್ಟರ್ ಹಿಡ್ಕೊಂಡು ಲೋಕಲಲ್ಲಿ ಇರ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಎಜುಕೇಷನ್ MLA, MP, ವೆರಿ ಇಂಪಾರ್ಟೆಂಟ್ ಆಗಿ MP, ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ನಾವು ಸೆಂಟ್ರಲ್ ಗೌರ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಪ್ರಾಜೆಕ್ಟ್ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಇಷ್ಟೊತ್ತು ಮಾತಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀವಿ. ನಾನಂತೂ 5 ವರ್ಷ ಆಯಿತು MP ನೋಡಿ ನಮ್ಮ ಕ್ಷೇತ್ರದಲ್ಲಿ. MP ಆಫೀಸ್ ಇಲ್ಲೇ ಇದೆ. ಜನರ ಮಧ್ಯದಲ್ಲಿ ತಿರುಗಾಡಿ ನೋಡಿದ 5 ವರ್ಷ ಆಯಿತು, ಯಾವ ಪ್ರಾಬ್ಲಮ್ ಅಡ್ರೆಸ್ ಮಾಡಿಲ್ಲ. ಲೈವ್ ಹೋಗ್ತದೆ, ಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ ನೋಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ. ಒಂದು ಚಿಕ್ಕ ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್ ಕೊಟ್ಬಿಡ್ತೀನಿ. 2022-2023 ಸ್ಟೂಡೆಂಟ್ ಬ್ಯಾಚ್. ನಮ್ಮ ಸ್ಟೂಡೆಂಟು ನೋ ಇಟ್ಸ್ ವೆರಿ ಇಂಪಾರ್ಟೆಂಟ್ ಸರ್. ನಮ್ಮ ಸ್ಟೂಡೆಂಟು ಗೌರ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಕಾಲೇಜ್ ಹೋಗಿ ಸರ್ವೆ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡ್ಬಂದರು. ನಮ್ಮ SSMRV ಕಾಲೇಜ್ ಸ್ಟೂಡೆಂಟು NSS, NCC, ಡಾಕ್ಟರ್ ಬಿ ಆರ್ ಅಂಬೇಡ್ಕರ್ ಸ್ಟೇಡಿಯಂ ರಿಸರ್ಚ್ ಸ್ಟೂಡೆಂಟು ಒಂದು ಸರ್ವೆ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡು ಬಂದರು. ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಗೌರ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಕಾಲೇಜಲ್ಲಿ ಇಲ್ಲ, ಅದರೊಳಗೆ ಫಿಬ್ರವರಿ ವಾಶ್ರೂಮ್ ಇಲ್ಲ, ಅದರೊಳಗೆ ಗರ್ಲ್ಸ್ ವಾಶ್ರೂಮ್ ಇಲ್ಲ, ಇವತ್ತವರೆಗೂ ಸರಿ ಮಾಡಿಲ್ಲ. 3 ಸಲ ಲೆಟರ್ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದೀವಿ. ವೇರ್ ಇಸ್ ದ ಡೆವಲಪ್ಮೆಂಟ್? ಓವರ್ ಆಲ್ ಆಗಿ ನಾವು ನೋಡಿದಾಗ ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ಸೆಂಟ್ರಲ್ ಗೌರ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಸ್ಟೇಟ್ ಗೌರ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಇದೆ. ಒಂದು ನಿಮಿಷ ಮುಗಿಸ್ಬಿಡ್ತೀನಿ, ನನ್ನ ಕ್ವಶನ್ ಎಂಟಾಗಿಲ್ಲ. ಒಂದು ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟಿಂಗ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಅವ್ರು ಏನ್ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರು, ಪ್ರಜಾಪ್ರಭುತ್ವ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರು, ಡೆಮೋಕ್ರಾಟಿಕ್ ಕಂಟ್ರಿ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರು. ಸರ್ ಏನ್ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರು, ಯಾರ್ಯಾರಿಗೆ ಎಷ್ಟೆಷ್ಟು ತಾಕತ್ತಿದೆ ಅಷ್ಟೆಷ್ಟು ಕೊಡ್ಬೇಕಂತ. ಅದು ಕಾರ್ಪೊರೇಟ್ ಕಂಪನಿಗೆ ಸುಟ್ಟದ್ದು. ಯಾಕಂದ್ರೆ ಜನರು ಓಟ್ ಹಾಕಿದ್ರೆ ಗೆಲ್ಸಿರೋದು. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಅವರು ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಪವರ್ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿರೋದು ಜನರು ಏನಕ್ಕಪ್ಪ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ ಸರ್ವಿಸ್ ಮಾಡೋದಕ್ಕೆ. ಸೈಲೆನ್ಸ್. ನಾರ್ಮಲ್ ಆಗಿ ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ ಆಫರಬಲ್ ಪ್ರೈಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಹೆಲ್ತ್, ಎಜುಕೇಶನ್ ಅದೆರಡು ಕಂಪಲ್ಸರಿ ಸಿಗಬೇಕು. ಮೂರನೇದು ಬೇಸಿಕ್ ಫೆಸಿಲಿಟಿ. ನೀವು ಮತ್ತೆ ಸ್ಟಡಿ ಮಾಡಿದಾಗ ಬೇಸಿಕ್ ಫೆಸಿಲಿಟಿ ಯಾರು ಮಾತಾಡಿಲ್ಲ. ಯು ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಟು ಅಡ್ರೆಸ್ ದ ಸ್ಟೂಡೆಂಟ್ಸ್ ಎಸ್ಪೆಷಲಿ ಫಾರ್ ದ ಬೇಸಿಕ್ ಫೆಸಿಲಿಟೀಸ್. ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಏನೇನು ಮಾಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ, ಮತ್ತೆ ಹೆಲ್ತ್ ಮತ್ತೆ ಎಜುಕೇಶನ್ಗೆ ಏನು ಕಾಂಟ್ರಿಬ್ಯೂಟ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ, ಅದರಲ್ಲೂ ಮುಖ್ಯವಾಗಿ ಮಿಡಲ್ ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ ಫ್ಯಾಮಿಲಿಗೆ ಏನು ಮಾಡಿದ್ರು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ಬೇಕು. ದಿಸ್ ಇಸ್ ಮೈ ಕ್ವಶನ್.
Sir, you spoke about development. Quick mugsana, sir. I had a very elaborate question. I'll answer it in the most simplest way. See, live over my father runs a warehouse construction company. Per year we make a transaction of 200 crores. But I am completely detached in the financial aspects from my family. I earn my own bread and butter and things like that. As per Article 33 of the Indian Constitution, I have a certain restrictions about giving my political opinion. ಯಾವ ರೇಂಜ್ಗೆ ಅಂದರೆ ಆಫೀಸಿಗೆ ಬುಕ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡು ಹೋದ್ರು ಕ್ವಶನ್ ಮಾಡೋಕೆ ಅಧಿಕಾರ ಅವ್ರ ಹತ್ರ ಇದೆ. ಅದನ್ನ ಜ್ಞಾಪಕ ಇಟ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ. ಅರ್ಥ ಆಯ್ತಾ? ರೀಸೆಂಟಾಗಿ RCB ಗೆಲ್ತಾ ವುಮನ್ ಅಲ್ಲ ಮೆನ್ನು 18 ವರ್ಷದ ಕನಸು ಗೆದ್ವಾ? ಮರುದಿನ ಏನಾಯ್ತು? Did we enjoy the RCB's victory? What did we feel bad about? Deaths. What did I do? I went on my WhatsApp, I went on my social media and I made a post that some person ಅಂತ ಅವ್ರ ಫೋಟೋನೇ ಹಾಕ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ದಿಸ್ ಇಸ್ ದ ಪರ್ಸನ್ ರೆಸ್ಪಾನ್ಸಿಬಲ್. ಯಾಕೆಂದ್ರೆ ಇವ್ರ ಅಚಾತುರ್ಯಕ್ಕೆ, ಇವ್ರು ಮಾಡಿದ ದುರಹಂಕಾರಕ್ಕೇನೆ ಈ ಸಾವುಗಳಿಗೆ ಹೊಣೆ ಅಂತ. ಯಾಕೆಂದ್ರೆ I was there in Chinnaswamy that day and I have seen how a girl's chest was pressed with the foot. Okay, I have seen that. I have seen death right in front of my eyes. But what happens? Next day I got a notice from the commissioner's office. You have breached the privacy protocols of the office. They asked me a show cause I went, someone's ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ರು, ಹೋದೆ, ಕುತ್ಕೊಂಡೆ, ಮಾತಾಡಿದೆ. ಏನಾಗತ್ತೆ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಸರ್, ನೀವು ಹೇಳಿದ್ದು ಅಪ್ಪುಟ ಸತ್ಯ. ಈ ದೇಶದಲ್ಲಿ ಮಿಡಲ್ ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಯಾರು ಮಾತಾಡಲ್ಲ, ಎಲ್ಲ ಬಡವರು ಅಂತ ಮಾತಾಡ್ತಾರೆ. ಬಡವರು ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಅಲ್ಲ ಅಂತ ಅನ್ಕೋಬೇಡಿ, ಬ್ರಾಕೆಟ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಬಡವರು ಅಂತ ಮಾತಾಡ್ತಾರೆ. ಎಲ್ಲ ಶ್ರೀಮಂತರು ಅಂತ. ಮಿಡಲ್ ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಏನು? ಬಡವ್ರ ಮನೆ ಮಕ್ಕಳು ಬೆಳಿಬೇಕಾ ಇಸ್ ದ ಕ್ವಶನ್. ಮಿಡಲ್ ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ ಅವ್ರು ಏನ್ ಪಾಪ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರು? ಏನ್ ಪಾಪ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರು? ಕಟ್ಟಲ್ವಾ? ಟ್ಯಾಕ್ಸ್ ಕಟ್ಟಲ್ವಾ ದೇಶಕ್ಕೆ? ಹೈಯೆಸ್ಟ್ ಟ್ಯಾಕ್ಸ್ ಯಾರು ಕಟ್ಟೋದು? ಯಾರು ಹೈಯೆಸ್ಟ್ ಪ್ರಾಡಕ್ಟ್ಸ್ ಕನ್ಸ್ಯೂಮ್ ಮಾಡೋದು? ಗತ್ತಲ್ಲ ಹೇಳ್ರಿ ಮಿಡಲ್ ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ ಅಂತ. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಬಡವ್ರ ಮಕ್ಕಳು, ಮಿಡಲ್ ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ ಮಕ್ಕಳು, ಶ್ರೀಮಂತರ ಮಕ್ಕಳು ಇವೆಲ್ಲ ಲೆಕ್ಕಕ್ಕೆ ಬರಲ್ಲ. ಬರೋದು ಒಂದೇ, ಯೋಗ್ಯತೆ, ಅರ್ಹತೆ. ಇವೆರಡಿತ್ತು ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಮನುಷ್ಯ ಬೆಳೀತಾನೆ. ಅದೇ ರೀತಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಸಾಹೇಬ್ರು ಒಂದು ವೆರಿ ಗುಡ್ ಇದು ಮಾಡಿದ್ರು. 5 ವರ್ಷದಿಂದ ಕ್ಷೇತ್ರಕ್ಕೆ MP ಬಂದಿಲ್ಲ ಅಂತ. ಏನಾಗತ್ತೆ? ದಿಸ್ ಕಂಟ್ರಿ ಈಸ್ ಅ ಡೆಮೋಕ್ರಾಟಿಕ್ ಕಂಟ್ರಿ. ಪ್ಲೀಸ್, ಇಟ್ಸ್ ಅ ಸೀರಿಯಸ್ ಟಾಪಿಕ್. ಅರ್ಥ ಆಯ್ತಾ? ನಾಳೆ ನಿಮ್ಮ ಲೈಫ್ ಎಫೆಕ್ಟ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ನಾಳೆ ನಿಮ್ಮ ರೋಡಲ್ಲಿ ಏನೋ ಒಂದು ಗುಂಡಿ ಬಿದ್ದು ಯಾರೋ ಒಬ್ರು ಸತ್ತೋದ್ರು ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಯು ವಿಲ್ ಫೀಲ್ ದಟ್ ಪೇನ್. ಸೊ ರಾದರ್ ಲಿಸನ್ ಟುಡೇ. ಸರ್ ಐ ಟೋಲ್ಡ್ ಯು ಗಿವನ್ ಲೆಟರ್ 3 times. ಟ್ರಸ್ಟ್ ಮೀ, ಇಟ್ ಇಸ್ ನಾಟ್ ಎನ್ ಈಸಿ ಥಿಂಗ್. 3 ಸರ್ತಿ ನೀವು ಮುಖ ತೋರಿಸಿದ್ರೆ MP ಆಫೀಸಲ್ಲಿ ನೋಟ್ ಹಾಕ್ತೀರಾ, ಯಾಕೋ ಬರ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾನೆ, ಯಾಕೋ ಪ್ರಾಬ್ಲಮ್ ರೈಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾನೆ. ಈಗ ನಾನು ಯಾವ MP ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಮಾತಾಡ್ತಿಲ್ಲ, MLA ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಮಾತಾಡ್ತೀನಿ. ಬಟ್ self awareness and civic sense, these are the 2 things. Of course, this is away from budget. I'm talking purely a little more social based. Okay, since this is my domain, civic sense and alertness, that these are the 2 things that you need. If you have the right to question, go question first. He has questioned, so he's questioning me. Now he has got that gravity for, he has got that criteria to come ask me. Sir, ಈ ತರ ಮಾತಾಡ್ರಿ, ಮಿಡಲ್ ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಮಾತಾಡಲಿಲ್ಲ, ಎಜುಕೇಶನ್ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಮಾತಾಡಲಿಲ್ಲ, ಹೆಲ್ತ್ ಕೇರ್. ಈಗ ಪಾಸಿಟಿವ್ ಆಗಿ ಹೇಳ್ಬೇಕು ಅಂದ್ರೆ ನಾನು ಹೇಳ್ತೀನಿ, want to send them to different countries for medical. Isn't that a good point from the government? But I'm not telling that there is only bads or there is only goods. The gray area. Why I am pitching, he is giving wonderful statistics and numbers. ಅವ್ರು ಹೇಳಿದ 0.001% ಅಂದ್ರು, ಅದೇನೋ 0.5% ಅಂದ್ರು, 10 ಪೈಸಾ ಅಂದ್ರು. ಅದನ್ನೆಲ್ಲ ತಿಳ್ಕೊಳ್ಳೋದು ಅಷ್ಟು ಈಸಿ ಅಲ್ಲ. ನಿಮಗೆ ಅರ್ಥ ಆಗೋದೇನೋ ಕಾಮರ್ಸ್ ಸ್ಟೂಡೆಂಟಿಗೆ. Sir gave so many examples that is easy for you to understand. Not for I was a commerce student in 12th. After that I have no knowledge of it. But the ground reality remains is, as much as we are questioning the government what you have done for us, I am going to question you what you have done for them, Allah. I am going to question you, how many times have you gone to their doors and knocked? Keyboard warriors ellaru aata adbodu. Okay, after that, don't think that after that I didn't post anything against the government or anything against the incumbency. At the end of the day, I am an advocate. ರಿಸಿಗ್ನೇಷನ್ ಕೊಡ್ತೀವಿ, ಬಂದು ಬ್ಲ್ಯಾಕ್ ಕೋಟ್ ಹಾಕೊಂಡು ಹೈಕೋರ್ಟಿಗೆ ಹೋಗಕ್ಕೂ ಗೊತ್ತು ನಮಗೆ, ಸುಪ್ರೀಂ ಕೋರ್ಟಲ್ಲಿ ನಿಂತ್ಕೊಂಡು ವಾದ ಮಾಡೋಕ್ಕೂ ನಮಗೆ ಬರುತ್ತೆ. ಆ ಕೆಪಾಸಿಟಿ ನಿಮ್ಮಲ್ಲಿ ಇದ್ರೆ, ಇಫ್ ಯು ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ದಟ್ ಕರೇಜ್ ಟು ಕ್ವೆಶ್ಚನ್, ದೆನ್ ಐ ಥಿಂಕ್ ಯು ಶುಡ್ ಲಾಫ್ ಎಟ್ ಅ ಪರ್ಸನ್. Okay, I am not against you, but he is telling out of pain. Please understand that. This is a little political aspect as such. That is why I don't want to dwell deep into it. But again, middle class, upper class, lower class, all of this is a very big debate. This is not the platform or an arena, because for that it will take hours and hours and you are already bored. And if somebody feels sad, bezar ಮಾಡ್ಕೋಬೇಡ್ರಿ. It's all part of life. You will also understand once you have graduated. So relax, smile, smile, smile.
Thank you very much to all the panelists and all the students and colleagues. So it was an eventful discussion, I assume, and also in the coming days we can have more such discussions if you all feel it is required for you. Thank you.
As we come to the end of today's panel discussion on decoding Union Budget 2026, it is a pleasure to acknowledge and thank all those who contributed to making this program meaningful and successful. At this moment, I request Dr. Malini N., Head of the Department of Commerce, to kindly present the token of appreciation. Yes, ma'am. Mr. Aryan DJ, Advocate, for offering a clear legal perspective on the implications of the Union Budget.
Can we have Vidya ma'am?
Mr. Anil Bharadwaj, Chartered Accountant, for sharing practical insights from the field of finance and taxation. Mr. Ajay Kumar S., Entrepreneur, for bringing a business-oriented and real-world viewpoint to the discussion. Mr. Pradeep Sheshadri, Director of Solutions Consulting, for providing valuable industry insights and professional experience.
Thank you all the panelists, and last week we have had our international conference which was conducted at SSMRV institution. So there was one prize which was pending, and it was to Mr. C.G. Kushan. Can we have you on the stage, Kushan, from 6th semester A section, BCom. So he had presented a paper and he has won the best paper award, and I think he had not collected it on that particular day. So this was a conference which was based on the theme of innovation, sustainability and digital transformation. Congratulations to you. Please come. I would request all the panelists to do the honors. Please.
We are deeply grateful to our esteemed panelists for sharing their valuable insights and perspectives, which have added great depth to our understanding of the union budget. I would like to express our sincere gratitude to our principal, Dr. Vijayashree L., for her constant encouragement and support towards academic and co-curricular initiatives. My sincere thanks also goes to Dr. Malini N., Head of the Department of Commerce, for her guidance, leadership and continuous support in organizing this program. I extend my appreciation to our moderator, Dr. Vinaya T., for skillful guiding the discussion and ensuring a smooth and engaging session. I also take this opportunity to acknowledge the efforts of our event coordinators, Mr. Sharvana M., Ms. Vidya U. Jambagi and Ms. Nandini J. for their dedication and hard work in planning and executing this event. I would like to specially thank our technical team, Reddy sir and Raviraj sir, along with our media cell students, for ensuring smooth technical support and support managing the live streaming of today's program. Thanks a lot. And I thank the student organizers and volunteers for their support behind the scenes. Finally, I thank the audience for your presence and participation. Thank you and have a great day.